Welcome to Dunwoody Dialogues, where we chat with Dunwoody celebrities. I'm Mark Galvin, the Director of Marketing of Discover Dunwoody, and we have another great guest for you today. Today, we are talking to the Dino Diva, the fossil fanatic, the blow-up Jurassic junkie, and the inflatable T-Rex enthusiast, Lisa Torres. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I am so thrilled to be here. I cannot get over the Dino Diva. It's phenomenal.
Well, I mean, before we were recording, you agreed that you're going to get that as a tattoo, right?
I'm going to do my best. My pain tolerance is minimal, but I'm going to do my best. I'll get it on my back.
This is fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming to talk with us. For those of you who don't know, there is a little bit of interesting storyline happening here in Dunwoody. We're going to get to that. It all has to do with blow-up T-Rexes. But before we get there, you are someone who comes to us from Texas.
Yes.
You grew up in El Paso.
Yes.
Where is El Paso in Texas? Is it near Dallas or Houston? Where is it?
It's way west. El Paso is a little tiny city in the very, very edge of Texas. It's bordered to Mexico.
Okay, so if I remember right, if you look at the state of Texas, it's all the way, literally on that little tip at the end. And so what's the other, I should know
New
this.
Mexico.
New Mexico is right beside it.
Yes.
That's some pretty country.
It's very country. Yes.
Yeah.
Very country, very open, very desert, very hot.
Very hot. How hot?
Very hot. The reason why I didn't go back.
So Atlanta's not as hot as El Paso?
To me, it's not. To my family, when they come, they say, oh my gosh, it's so humid, it's
sure.
too hot. And to me, when I go back, it's too hot, it's too dry hot.
Yeah.
You know, like headache hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I prefer this heat.
But then you get a little mister, right? You get a little spray, a little mist, and it cools everything off.
Yes,
right?
It feels like Atlanta because now I'm humid.
All right, so you have been in the insurance industry since you were 18.
Since I was 18, yeah.
Unbelievable. So how does somebody get into insurance when they're 18?
I got into it by the grace of God, I think. I was going for something completely different when I was in college. I wanted to be a vet. I wanted to be a choreographer. I wanted to be a clinical counselor. There were so many things in my mind that I wanted to do, but I didn't really know. You know, you just don't know until you find it. And I think when I was going to college, I said I need to find me something where I can pay my car and I can help my parents, you know, with gas and my meals and the back and forth. So I worked at a steakhouse. I was there for about 6 months, and then I decided to join this call center because they would work with my college schedule.
Okay.
And one thing led to another. I was on the phones. I got licensed. I loved the material. I loved all the knowledge that I was getting from it. And making customers happy, making people happy just took me to another level. And I said, you know what? Take me to an office. Wow. If I love this over the phone, take me to an office and let me actually see it. And so when I got transferred to an office, I immediately got promoted to an assistant manager and then a manager and then a multi-office manager. And then I didn't see any further than that. Like, that's exactly where I wanted to be.
Right.
And so I just deposited all my energy, and I had a lot of confidence in what I was doing. And that just took me to levels and levels and levels until I got here.
That's amazing. So if you remember the list that she had before she got to insurance, there were so many things that all sound very interesting, right? That sound like what a young person would be interested in. Insurance, I would say, would be the outlier.
Yeah.
The opportunity that you got to get experience at it at a young age and see, wow, this is something I find very engaging. That's fantastic. Out of everything you listed, insurance probably has a little better income than everything else. So this worked out really well for you.
It did.
Now, you have your own office here in Dunwoody. It's the Lisa Torres Insurance Agency, easy enough to remember.
Yeah.
And how long have you had that office?
I've had that office for going on 6 years.
Oh,
in
good.
May of 2024, we'll have 6 years. I started with a company that I'm affiliated with since 2017. And I'm loving it. I used to run 33 offices across the state.
Oh my goodness.
From Albany, Georgia, all the way to Augusta. And I grew them from the ground up. You know, I laid the carpet, made sure, well, not literally laid the carpet, but hired people to lay the carpet, to put up the signage, designed what the interior was going to look like, make sure the desks were set up, and I also hired people, got people licensed, trained my managers to train my team members, and grew a beautiful region that was very successful. It was a lot of fun.
Wow.
But when it was time for me to grow my family and to build my own future with my husband and for my future children, I had to take a big leap of faith. And I did, and I love that. I love that I've always had the spirit of just going out for adventure and just taking the biggest risks and not staying comfortable and exploring and meeting new people and not being shy about it.
Oh, I love that. That's fantastic. This is such a good transition point, too, because you mentioned your sons.
Yes.
So you have 2 boys. What are their ages?
6 and 3.
And I think they like dinosaurs.
They
Is that
love
right?
dinosaurs, yes.
So did this
do
happen just naturally? You know, some people are dinosaur fans themselves. They introduce
And they
their
pass
children, but is that what happened?
No,
You or your husband?
I knew nothing about dinosaurs. Now I can tell you, that it's a Pachycephalosaurus, that's a, Stigmolic, and they look exactly the same.
Wow.
And with my firstborn, with Kobe is his name. He's 6. He started showing signs of liking dinosaurs at age 1. My husband and I purchased like little the tub toys.
Sure.
But instead of buying rubber duckies, we bought dinosaurs.
Okay.
And my husband started telling my son, "Oh, look, this is a Paracephalophus," and he would tell him, "Oh, look, this is
Wait, what was it? Paracephalophus?
a Paracephalophus." Yes.
Oh my God, I missed an actor.
It's the one that has the little beak and it has the horn on the top.
Okay.
So he would show my son, "Look, this is Ducky," and then the Triceratops, he would say, "This is 3 horns." And the T-Rex, you say, "This is T-Rex, Tyrannosaurus
Wow.
Rex," and so on and so forth. So he would show him like the basics, right? And he started getting so into it. But he was more interested, once my husband started reading to him and we started buying books that had the sounds and stuff, he wanted to hear more. Like he was more interested in how your mouth would move. So his vocabulary is really, really expanded. Like it's
Wow.
a good vocabulary. And so we thought, okay. I'm a mom, and so I blog. I'm reading blogs all the time and how to be a better parent and just trying to read on ideas and stuff that I can share with my children. And when I discovered that kids that love dinosaurs have more of an opportunity to grasp onto vocabulary, to grasp onto memory, to grow into science and stuff like that, I said, if he loves it now, I wonder if I lean into it, what he'll do. And we did, and he's 6, and he's still infatuated with dinosaurs. I'm so impressed by him. He has encyclopedias of dinosaurs.
Wow.
And he passed it on to my 3-year-old, who's a car fanatic. He's a muscle car kid. But if he sees a car, he's like, "Mom, we got to put a dinosaur on that." There's a combination there. It's a beautiful combination. I grew up in a family of cars. So having my 3-year-old have that in his system, have that in his blood, but still adopt what his big brother wants to teach him is phenomenal.
Oh, I think that's great. That transition, and don't forget the dinosaur piece. We're going to get back to that because I do want to mention this. In the bio that you shared with us, you said you shared your goal, and your goal was more or less this: you want to grow your business with love and grace and contribute to your family and the community. So the community is a large part of your focus.
Yeah.
Why is that, and how have you been able to love that community?
For a long time, I moved here 11 years ago in 2012. And for a long time, I was very homesick. I grew up, I was
Sure.
born and raised in El Paso, Texas. All my friends and all my family were over there. The only person I had here was my husband. And I've always been a social butterfly. I've always been surrounded by a lot of love and by a lot of people. And not having that for a long time really made me feel lost. It made me really feel alone. And years into that, and having the career that I had, and even though I had 33 offices and I had many people that were working with me, employees and managers and so on and so forth.
You were super busy.
I was very busy.
Yeah.
I was working 80 hours a week, between
Oh my
60 to
goodness.
80 hours a week minimal. I would go into a coma on Sundays. So I really didn't have an opportunity to go out there and build new relationships and build new friendships, or even fit within a community because I was moving. I lived downtown and then I lived in Brookhaven. And I remember having a conversation with my husband one time and saying, I don't know that, God forbid, when my time comes, where I would want to be laid to rest, because I don't know where I belong. You always have that idea of, this is where my family is, this is where my friends are. I found myself in a place where I didn't know where that was.
Right.
And recently, in these past few years, I felt that was Dunwoody. And I think that when you find yourself and you find where you belong, that's where you want to give it all. That's where you want to be your best self. That's where you want to contribute to. And I'm a big advocate of finding noble causes and really just dumping the best of you into that, because that's what life is about. Life is so short. So if you can just make the best of it by giving it to the people that deserve it the most, then I think you'll leave in peace.
I love that. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
So you have, you've invested in the community, you've opened up your insurance practice, and then there's this little thing about the Jurassic Park, the Jurassic blow-up park. Share with our viewers, assuming that they don't know, let's give them a little highlight of what that is, what that means, what that's all about, and what's going on with that today.
So we started in 2020. I had just had a baby, which was my second born. He's now 3. But having a baby in the middle of a pandemic is not only, of course, excruciating in the sense of, the worry and the fear that you have about what's going to happen. But also there's a lot of guilt. There's a lot of mom guilt that comes with that, and postpartum is not a friend of anybody. So I would see my 3-year-old, who was already 3 years into dinosaurs, that would get lost in the adventure and the imagination of all things dinosaurs. And I remember that would soothe me. I would be working on my laptop and I would be watching him from the far, and in my own worry that I would create in my head, right? Because everybody around me was going through something similar or worse.
Right.
But in my head, to me, it was the most terrible thing. And I would watch my son, and it was almost, soothing and alleviating to see him. And I told my husband one day over dinner, I said, imagine we could just kind of capture that and just throw it out for other people to experience it, in the world. And Halloween was coming about, and we started with Halloween. We thought, okay, it'd be a good opportunity. Everybody puts up decorations. It won't be too obvious. And we did that. And it was really nice to get the feedback, to see people react to it. And then we said, all right, let's go for Thanksgiving and then Christmas. And then boom, we started getting little thank you cards and so on and so forth, because we stayed in the theme of dinosaurs. I think that's been the beauty of it, that it's been the theme of dinosaurs, no matter what holiday it is. Although a lot of people do a really good job about decorating, and in that time you had the signs that were everything will be okay, people putting up their Christmas lights, people trying to find ways to share as much cheer as they could, right?
Sure.
To us, it was through dinosaurs. And
So I'm just curious. Halloween, it was easy enough, blow up dinosaurs, and it's and that's common for decorations at Halloween. But at Christmas, did you put Christmas holiday clothing on them?
I found Christmas dinosaurs.
There's Christmas dinosaurs.
I find a dinosaur for each occasion. It's a little bit more work, but it's amazing.
Wow, that's great.
So I found Christmas dinosaurs. We put them up, and then the end of the year came, and I said, it's 2021. We're all trying to still get through this PTSD that that we all have in our system.
Right.
And we were still not back to normal. It was still weird.
Right.
So I thought, let's keep this going. But at that time, I had found some comfort in expressing myself, because that was my family's feeling, that came from inside my home.
Right.
And putting it out there was accepted. So you build this confidence of, I can do that. I can express myself, and it's okay, and people actually like it. So by the time the dinosaurs came down for Christmas, which was around middle of January, we would kind of wait till the 15th, somewhere around there. I said, honey, let's put some Valentine's dinosaurs up. And he's like, where are you going to find them? And I said, I already ordered them.
Oh my goodness.
They're on their way.
The beautiful thing about the internet, right? Wow.
It's my best friend for dinosaur findings. Algorithms. So I put the dinosaurs up. It was just a handful of them, but they were so cute and so perfect. And I decided to add a message. So I listen to a lot of positive podcasts and a lot of positive motivational videos, and I also read. I try to give my brain some good food. And so I thought, if I can get just one verse, one word to connect with people and make people's day better, then people can make the best of that, whatever it is that is out there, right? People can take it as they want it. If they see the word smile on my yard and they say, okay, perfect. But if they see the word smile and they're having a really, really tough morning, then it's going to remind them, maybe I should smile.
Yeah.
Right? And trick my brain into having just the best day.
Find that positive piece.
Yes, of
Sure.
course. So I started with the message smile, and then I went with the message you belong, which was a connection to how I had felt years back. And March came about, and I found some St. Patrick dinosaurs, and I decided to include the message, connecting it to, which is another thing. You know, I try to stay in tune with the times, with what's happening around the world, what people may be feeling, because I'm an empath. I feel like if I can help you any way that I can, if I can take a little, like with my best friend, you know, I always tell her, if I can take a little of your sorrow and make it lighter on you, I will do that. I want to be able to do that. And at the same time, if I can share a little bit of my cheer, a little bit of my joy, I want to be able to do that. I think we should feed off of each other because life is tough, and we
Right.
have each other
Right.
for that, right?
And we need each other.
And we definitely need each
Sure.
other for survival purposes and whatnot. So for March, it's Mental Health Awareness Month, and I'm a big advocate for mental health awareness. I'm a big believer that your mind is powerful, and it's the best tool that we have, so we should protect it and cherish it and feed it and take care of it as much as we can. Especially with everything going on around the world. So I put on there, your life matters.
And so these letters, these are like small letters,
these
are they
yard
individual?
Letters. They're individual letters. I
Okay.
tried to keep my messages short and to the point so you can use your heart and your soul and your imagination to make it apply to you.
Yeah, that's great.
And that, I think, was one of the most impactful messages. I got a lot of good feedback about that. It was 2021. People had gone through a lot of, you know, through an emotional journey and through
And potentially loss.
yes, through a lot of losses. So saying that in that particular month was, I think, super appropriate and right on the money. And people really resonated. I got a lot of cards. I got, you know, some cookies, and I love handwritten notes and handwritten letters. I tell my husband, you know, I think you made me fall in love with that. And my dad was always he would say, don't get me anything for Christmas. Don't get me anything for my birthday. Write me a card. Write me a letter. And so when my neighbors write me cards and write me letters, it makes me the happiest. So I knew that I had to keep it going.
Sure.
That was a note and a message.
Well,
for
you're
me to
getting all
keep it
this
going.
positive reinforcement.
Yes,
Right?
of
It'd be
course.
different if if your neighbors saying stop.
Or
we don't
not
want to see
saying
this.
anything,
Yeah.
right?
But you're getting people were really leaning into it
Yeah.
because they obviously wanted that message.
Sure. And so we kept it going, and we kept getting more creative, kept getting more positive and more neutral than anything. I don't get involved with religion or politics in any kind of way. I don't try to impose how I feel or what I believe or what I think on anybody. I just want to remind you how great you are and how beautiful life can be if you want to see it that way. And so I used my yard and I used my dinosaurs to do so. So,
And I get this sense of the dinosaurs are appealing to a younger audience. The message is for an adult audience, but it was certainly still good for a young audience too,
it was,
right?
you know what? They
Your
made a
life
good
matters. What a
combination.
great message for somebody that's young.
Yeah. And we started up with one of the most important cards that I got was from a 16-year-old girl. And you know, if you think of 16-year-old girls now, you think of social media. You think
lot of pressures.
There's a lot of pressure in so many ways. And her note was, thank you so much for your inflatables. I've actually been asking my parents to buy me an inflatable for our yard, but they won't do it, but at least I have yours.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's a 16-year-old girl that I would never think would care for an inflatable dinosaur,
I
right?
love that.
But it hit so many generations from the young ones that, you know, that pull up in the stroller with their parents and just stare at the dinosaur
Oh, I
for
can
minutes
imagine that.
long.
You don't have pets, do you?
I do, but I have them inside and in my backyard.
Oh,
so
my
they-
dog would be going crazy all day, barking the whole time.
No, they're so used to it now.
That's good.
Yeah, and then I have the older folks that, you know, just walk or jog or even just drive by that don't have any kids. I've had some empty nesters tell me, I'm an empty nester, and I love them.
Wow, that's
You know,
so good.
So it's been beautiful.
So where are we today? What happened? Because everything was great until something happened. What happened?
So continuing on with doing that and doing it our best to continue to provide and give and listen to the community in that sense of them enjoying it, we got a note, a warning, a courtesy warning this past September, letting us know, hey, you're in violation of code, yada, yada, yada. You got to take it down. You got to take down all inflatables by 9/20.
Okay.
And
So they gave you how long to take them down?
they gave me about maybe 10 days.
Okay,
something
and this
like
was
that.
the city, so this
the
was
city.
code
This was a
enforcement.
yes, code enforcement from the city. I remember seeing the note when I got home, and I completely ignored it. I don't know if I was in denial. I told my husband I thought it was the people from the yard, the people that they put the, I don't know, the grass. People.
Sure. Okay.
But I knew it wasn't, right? And so my husband gets it while I'm cooking, and he says, "Hey, did you see this?" And I said, "Yeah, just leave it there." And then he's like, "No. Did you see it?"
Did you
Yeah.
absorb what this is?
And I said, "I saw it." And he's like, "You have to I think we're gonna have to take down the dinosaurs." And he's like, "What do you want to do?" And I said, he's like, "Why don't you reach out to the mayor? You have a good relationship with the mayor. Why don't you reach out to the mayor?" And
Our
see?"
mayor is everywhere. She's
Yes,
very
she's
easy to get in touch
amazing,
with.
Yes. So I said, "You know what? You have a good point. Let's just have dinner, and I'll worry about it later."
Okay.
I didn't want to think about it.
Sure.
I didn't want to think about it. And so everybody left. My husband took the kids upstairs to go take a shower. I was done washing the dishes and not. And so I looked at the warning. I looked at the date, took a picture of it, and reached out to Mayor. She gave me some advice. She said, "Find out what you need to do to get compliant, to pay fees, whatever it is." And I was willing to.
Okay.
Again, going
All right.
back to
To
where
get
I
a
come
permit
from.
even.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
used to getting permits and paying fees and all that stuff in
Okay.
order to have whatever I need to have out.
All right.
So I said, "Okay, great." So the next morning, well, that same night actually, I wrote an email to the gentleman she asked me to reach out to and let him know, "Hey, what do I need to do to get in compliance? What do I need to pay? Was there an application fee? Give it to me." And I didn't hear back from him until about 5 p.m. the next day, which silence speaks to me. Usually if you have an answer, and this is pretty black and white,
Right.
I would have gotten a quick
There was
response.
evidently a lot of conversations being had about it.
So I was like refreshing my email, constantly waiting for a response, and I wouldn't get it. And it started dawning on me, and I started understanding what was going to happen. And then all these, my voice breaks because I start replaying in my head like the cards and the messages and the private messages and the comments of people and how it did people so good, from a lady that asked us to put up a T-Rex for her birthday, to the gentleman that wrote me a letter because his wife lost her brother and he loved Jurassic Park and he wanted us to put a message for his wife so he could surprise her and ease her grief.
Wow.
All these beautiful things that we
Yeah.
had been able to do with our inflatables were being taken away, not from me,
Right, from the community.
but from the community.
Sure.
And I remember I went to my break room. My office is my safe place. Like, my office is where I feel, aside from my home, safe and I can be 100% myself. And I went to my break room and I cried and I called my husband and I told him, I said, "You know what, I got a reply back from the city. They told me that I have to take them down." It was a very straight to the point answer. They said, the gentleman said, "I'm sorry, you have to take them down. By 9/20, you're in violation of code, da-da-da." Nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
I did reply, "Well, what about Christmas? What about," I'm still like, trying to
Good
stay
question.
above the water. "What about Christmas? What about Halloween?" There was no response back from him. So then I went to my break room. I just kind of let it sit. I called my husband. My husband and I are very opposite. My husband is, I usually try to see the lesson in everything. I usually try to find the silver lining in everything. My husband is a lot more passionate and, and loud about it. So when I called him and I said, they told me I have to take down the dinosaurs, there's nothing I can do. He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Yeah, unfortunately, I have to take them down." He said, "Well, what happened?" I said, "I talked to code enforcement, the gentleman that left the notice." He said they were acting on a complaint, so we have to take them down. And so I'm crying, and he's hearing me cry, and he says, "What do you need? Do you need an attorney? Do you want to keep them up? We will do whatever it takes to keep your dinosaurs up, because I know what they mean to you. And let me know what." And to hear him react that way and to hear him be outraged for me was healing. And I said, "You know what, babe? It's okay. What we're going to do is we are going to reinvent this mission of goodness, and we are going to do something bigger, and we're going to do something better. and we're going to do something louder for our community. It's still going to be for Dunwoody, but it's going to be an extension of what we've been doing now. Maybe bigger than inflatables, bigger than just a single message. And he's like, okay, well, I'm right here. If you change your mind, I'm right here, and I'm right behind you, and let's do whatever you say. And I was like, okay. So disconnected the call. The office was already closed by then. And I thought, I have to let Dunwoody know, because these belong to Dunwoody. To me, they were already part of the community, and I knew that they were important. At that point, I knew that they were important. I didn't know they were essential to Dunwoody, but I knew they were very important. So I decided to put together a message on the Dunwoody Community Forum, which has about 10,000 residents on it, on Facebook. And it came from a very deep place. I was in a very emotionally deep place, and I wanted for people to feel what I was feeling, but to feel it in a positive way. That even though we were being taken down by a single complaint, that this was not going to stop us from doing bigger, better things in the future.
Right.
It's not going to be cool to see the yard playing for
Right.
months and months throughout the year.
Right.
But we will get through it, and we will figure it out, and we'll come back in a different way. And the reaction was insane. Once I had finished that post and I had let them know, hey, this is what happened. We're going to make the best out of the holidays. I appreciate everything you've allowed me to feel through you.
So was your plan at that point to put them up over the holidays and make them a holiday display versus
That's
year-round?
it. Yeah, they
Okay,
were
all
intended
right.
to be just for October through December, and that's it. The reaction of the community was, no way. Like, this is what I look forward to on my way to work. This is what I look forward to on my way to school. This is what my kid looks forward to on the way to
Wow.
daycare. This is how I get my kid out of bed.
So this groundswell of support.
Insane.
I love this.
I remember feeling like a medley of emotions. It was just butterflies in my stomach, and my tears became just tears of joy. I lost my appetite because it was just a lot.
Oh my.
And there was a petition that was created within a matter of an hour or 2 hours from me making that post that now has like
So
over...
someone else started the petition?
Oh, yes. I don't
Okay.
even know the gentleman. Daniel is his name. And it was just perfectly written and peacefully written, which I do appreciate, because I never wanted it to be negative in any kind of way.
Right,
Even though
right.
it was a complaint, we're not going to make it about the complaint. We're going to make
Right.
it about how beautiful Dunwoody is and how beautiful Dunwoody has reacted to something that I wanted to be positive and giving. So
How many people signed the petition?
over 2,000. I haven't checked in
Wow.
the recent days, but it was over 2,000.
So it's an online petition?
It's an online petition.
Okay, all right.
And it points out the reasons why the dinosaurs are so important to Dunwoody.
Wow. So you
And-
signed the petition, they also say why they like it.
Yes.
Okay.
You should read the comments on the petition. It's beautiful. There was a lady that said on there, I was having one of the worst days of my life, and I so happened to pass by your house, and the message was there for me.
Oh my goodness, this is great.
And there was a runner that said, I was going through a real bad phase, and I was barely getting back into running, and I happened to run into your house. And there was a message there, and it said, you are loved, and I am loved. So I had to take a picture with it to remember that I am loved. And it was
So awesome.
It was those messages that were
So-
empowering.
You have all of this energy behind it, and you started off with the simple thing, really,
Yeah.
because your boys liked it, but now you have an entire push by the community to support this.
Yeah.
All right, where are we today? Where are we as of right now? Are the dinosaurs up in your yard?
They're up in my yard. Well, they're up now because they were down for maintenance, for yard maintenance. But they're up now. They have been up after.
But it's Halloween
It's
season,
Halloween,
right?
Which was a question that I did ask. I wanted to be respectful to the city because the city's just doing their job. I get it. So I did ask the city, so what about the holidays? And they said, well, technically you can't because it would still be under code violation, but everybody does.
Right.
So I guess it would be fine. So to me, that was a green light to go ahead and do so. So when they told me I had to take them down by 9:20, after the petition and after the entire community coming back and supporting us and giving us the boost to continue, the city said, we'll give you an extension until 10:20. But then they also gave me the green light for the holidays.
So it's sort of like
So
you don't take them down until after
so they're
Halloween.
staying up.
You're right.
It's going to be New Year's. I think we'll still be up. Just-
I love that.
yes, I don't.
All right.
People have asked me what's the update, what's the status, and I just want to let you know that they're going to stay up. I think as long as you want them to stay up, and I'm going to do my best to continue to put them up as long as I'm allowed to, and I feel like I will be. I don't know. I don't have a worry about them anymore.
Yeah, and this is such an important topic because there is while there are people that may be bothered by them, and they should be respected, it sounds like the majority of people in the community would like for them to stay up. So I would just, if I didn't like your display, I just would drive down a different road.
Yeah.
That's
totally
how I would approach that. But I think that the story is fantastic. I did not realize how much support you'd been getting from the community, and sharing all that is fantastic. With 2,000 people signing the petition, it's a lot. Especially, are you in a large neighborhood? A lot of homes?
Yes, I'm in a lot of homes. I'm in a main road.
Okay.
So my house sits right on a main road on Dunwoody Club Drive. So there's a lot
sure.
of traffic on that. But recently, the homeowners association that's right across the street from us, are beautiful homes. It's a gated community. They recently purchased a dinosaur, and it hangs over the
you're kidding.
yard. Oh my gosh. The signs of solidarity, people started buying inflatables. Neighbors started buying inflatables in show of solidarity and support, and they started putting them up.
Oh my gosh.
Over 25 dinosaurs started popping up in different homes and kind of saying, well, we have one up too, right?
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. And talk about, love your neighbor. I do feel very, very loved and very appreciated.
I love that. Well, I think this has been a great conversation. We're really out of time, and I am so appreciative of you coming in and sharing the story. Getting it out to all the folks from Dunwoody, I think, is important. So hopefully a lot of you watch this and understand the backstory of the dinosaurs. I think that's fantastic, and I love that you came in. You got a peace sign on your shirt, and so you're definitely someone who's you're not interested in causing problems. You're interested in building community, and I think that you've done a great job of doing that. So thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Trying my best. Thank you so much.
I would love to, I would tell you something that's important is I'd like for people to be able to track you down, and if they wanted to ask questions or maybe talk to you about this, where should they go to find you?
So they can find me. I do have a website for my agency. It's www.lisatorres.org, or you can find me if you Google DinoWoody or DinoWoody. You'll find all my social media. You'll find Instagram, which
DinoWoody, so DinoWoody.
DY. You just Google it. You'll see all our interviews that we've been able to do, which I am so grateful for the community, and if I could hug them all, I would.
This is great.
But my social media is Lisa Torres. You can also Google me Google me and find me at Lisa Torres Agency, and you'll find all my business pages on there. And that's really much it.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming and talking with us and sharing your story. I know that all of you find that interesting, especially here in Dunwoody, because this has been such an interesting local topic. And to have you chat with us, we appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you once again.
You bet. So, folks, thanks for watching. I am Mark Galvin. This show is produced by Discover Dunwoody. Our producer is Madison Holtz. Our sound technician is Emily Inser Gibson. And we want you to know that you can pick up your own Dunwoody sticker at the library, at City Hall, or Sproul. Or wait a minute, Lisa, what about at your office? Would you like some Dunwoody stickers?
I would love some stickers.
Well, it just so happens I have a stack of them for you here. So if you'd like stickers, you can go to Lisa's office and pick them up. And we kind of challenged her, so we're hoping you burn through those quickly.
Yes.
We've got lots more for you.
I am happy to take them from
Speaking
you
of
once we get rid of these.
Speaking of community, I'm sure that's a great thing for you.
Yes, I would love to meet faces and hug people. I'm a hugger, so yes.
I love that.
A hug and a
Fantastic. So there you have it. If you want to get a Dunwoody sticker, that's the library, City Hall, Sproul, or Lisa Torres' office.
Right.
Or the last one is, of course, here. You can come right to our offices here at Discover Dunwoody. We'd be happy to give you one. On behalf of the entire Discover Dunwoody team, thank you for watching. Be sure to follow us on social media. You can find us using the handle @DiscoverDunwoody, or just go to our website, discoverdunwoody.com. Until next time, enjoy the day and go out and discover Dunwoody.